non-repudiation of those endpoints over a secure tunnel. And the nice thing about this is from an administrative perspective, you are always able to manage that laptop because it's always connected to corporate resources. So you could, push down, updates or patches, or ensure the health of that client. And from the client perspective, and more specifically the end user, he's not being burdened by, where's my smart card? Oh, the VPN disconnected. Let me connect again and, go get 2 cups of coffee while it does my security checks. It's an always on connection. And it's kind of cool the way we're doing it too, because you're not always sending all your traffic through, the corporate network. We actually use kind of, I'm going to use a loose term here, split tunneling, where if you type in, for example, www.cnn.com, it's going to recognize that as a DNS name and just use whatever connection you're connected to at Starbucks or at home. But if you type in an internal name like, whack whack server 2, it's going to realize that's a NetBIOS name and go back to the corporate resource. So it's a way for us to leverage both connections and not put attacks on corporate resources as well.
I see this really exciting because in past lives, past jobs, as an IT admin, we have these sales guys that are on the road constantly, and trying to maintain those machines can just be a nightmare, because they could go months without ever showing up to one of the corporate offices and getting the latest patches and getting the latest updates.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a true security vulnerability. Not to mention what a drag it is for that sales guy once he does connect, and now he's got 45 minutes of downloads he needs to be pushed on his machine. Yes, this is kind of a win-win. At expanding the remote workforce in a secure way.
So another thing I wanted to talk to you about, Ward, is today's economy. We're looking at saving money all over the place.
Yeah, you bet.
And one of the things that really started impacting my work just before I joined Microsoft was power consumption.
Yeah.
What's happening in the Windows Server world to address power? I mean, it's not only an environmental issue, it's a cost issue.
Yeah, sure. I need to start the whole conversation with, we are taking a very responsible approach to power management. I mean, we are not, to use another term loosely, greenwashing, and just saying, hey, we're green, go ahead and buy our server. We've been slowly and incrementally, putting features in and adding features as we look to Windows 8 that are really going to give tangible and responsible power benefits. A couple of them. One of them is power process management. So what we have the ability to do, and actually we introduced this with Server 2008, is we have the ability on a specific chip to throttle the amount of voltage that is applied to that chip based on the workload. So for example, if that server is sitting idle and not doing any work, we can drop that processor speed to half. And we actually 10 times every second we evaluate the workload on that processor, and we can step up the voltage to it to meet the needs of the potential workload. And we do this by default out of the box. Our research that we've done when we contrasted 03 to Server 2008 is we saw up to a 10% power savings. It's not huge. It's not saving the planet in one fatal swoop. But hey, if you save 10% off your power bill, it's 10% off your power bill. And I also need to mention that has nothing to do with virtualization. Virtualization, hands down, is going to be the biggest power saver you're going to find. You have 10 machines out there that are only doing 12% work. Hey, stack 8 of them up on one and leverage that machine to 100% capacity. Not only are you getting the best bang for your buck by utilizing that resource at 100%, but you're also unplugging those other 7 machines out of the wall and still using the same amount of power. So that goes without saying is huge. One of the things that we're doing with R2 is we're building upon that, right? So the power process management, we're taking that to the next level. And as we talk about these 256 scale-up machines, well, not only do we throttle the power on those, but hey, let's just turn those off when they're not in use. So we have a new feature called core parking, which actually does that. It's kind of juxtaposed to performance, right? So if you're buying a 256-way machine,
right.
you don't go into it with how many am I going to be able to turn off. But think about that database. At Christmas time, you want to 256 procs, but if it's 3 a.m. in the morning, not a lot of idle time, it does make sense to be able to throttle that down. Yeah, so core parking is another one. we actually have introduced a new qualifier, is what we call it, to our logo program. So, you know, our original equipment manufacturers,